Geometry, Unit 8, which is Chapter 6 in the book, Section 7, Arc Length and Sector Area. So let's review a couple of things that we know. We know that the diameter is 2 times the radius, so here's the radius, and then the diameter will be 2 times that. The circumference, which is the distance around the circle, is, we can represent in 2 ways. 2 pi r, so 2 times pi times the radius, or just diameter pi. And then the area is pi radius squared. So the arc length is a percentage of the circumference. So circumference is the whole distance, but the arc length is just a portion of that. So it's not the full circumference, it's just part of it. So to determine the arc length, we need to know the circumference and the measure of the arc. The measure of the arc is the same as the central angle. So if this central angle is 120 degrees, this arc is 120 degrees. So our circumference, 2 pi r, so that's 2 pi times 5, so that's 10 pi. So the percentage of the circumference is our measure of the arc, which is 120, divided by 360. So in this case, that is 1/3. And so now I take my circumference and I times it by the percentage. So 10 pi times a third. And so I end up with 10/3 pi. And that is the arc length. So let's try it on 2 more problems. So here, our circumference is 2 pi r, so that's 24 pi. Our measure of the arc is 90 degrees, so 90 divided by 360, well, that's 1/4. So times those, so 24 times 1/4, and you end up with 6 pi. Here, this next problem, our circumference is 2 pi r, so 20 pi. Our measure of the arc is 60 degrees, so 60 divided by 360, and that's 1/6. So multiply those, and you get 20 over 6 pi. I can simplify that to 10/3 pi. Sector area. It's the same basic principle, except instead of the circumference, it's a percentage of the area. So we need to find the area of the full circle and the measure of the arc. So again, measure of the arc is degrees, so I find the area. Area is pi radius squared, so it's pi 5 squared, so that's 25 pi. And then I find my percentage, so that's 120 divided by 360, which is 1/3. And then I multiply these. So that's going to be 25 over 3 pi. All right, so let's practice some of these. On this one, let's find this area. And on this one, let's find this sector area. All right, so this measure, the arc is 90 degrees. Thus, the other side, which is what we're trying to find, has got to be 270. All right, so the area, pi r squared, so pi times 4 squared, so that's 16 pi. Our percentage is 270 divided by 360, and that is 3/4. So now I multiply those. So 3 times 16, we got 48 over 4 pi, which reduces to 12 pi. On this next problem, we have the area is pi r squared, and so the area is 200 pi. And our percentage is 135 divided by 360. And that turns out to be 27 over 72, which that continues to reduce. We can reduce that by 3, 9 over 24. I can take that one more step, 3 over 8. And so I multiply these, so 200 times 3 over 8, that's 600 over 8 pi, which we can reduce that as well. 600 divided by 8 is 75 pi. All right, now let's look at this problem. This problem is a little bit unique. We got to find uh, the shaded area. And I've got two circles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the full area of this. I then will subtract the area of this. So I'm going to find the full yellow area, subtract the green area. All right, so the full yellow area, that will be, so the area will be pi r squared. So this is 10, so this is going to be 100 pi. Percentage is 60 divided by 360, which is 1/6. So the full area is 100 over 6 pi. And then the green shaded area, that area is 5 squared, so 25 pi. Percentage is the same, 60 over 360, which is 1 over 6. And then, so we multiply those, that's 25 over 6 pi. And so I subtract them. 100 over 6 pi minus 25 over 6 pi, and we end up with 75 over 6 pi. And we can simplify that to being 25 over 2 pi. And that is the end of this lesson.